Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. I want to talk to you about a walk I just took into town. I live about a quarter mile, half mile away from a little town here in Oakland. So I decided to go for a walk, and I was walking back, and when I went for the walk, it was a nice sunny day. When I came back, it wasn't a nice sunny day. I'm going to show you some pictures of what was going on in the sky. Now, I live in Oakland, California, which is kind of on the storm path going up to the Oroville Dam. Usually the storms will come in the Pacific Ocean right through San Francisco Bay, go right over Oakland up, and then veer up towards Sacramento and then Oroville, which is the big dam problem up there in Northern California. But so walking back, I'm thinking, well, it'd be a nice walk, have a nice time. Look what I saw. A lovely chemtrail right over the road. Not just one. I saw a whole bunch. There's a crisscross pattern. And that's a previous chemtrail that had been there for a while, all that white stuff. And they were even spraying more. There it is again, right over my house. And again. These are all different chemtrails. And then here's my favorite. We have this cell tower with every kind of microwave known to man on it. And there's your artsy picture with the sun behind it and the halo. The chemically induced halo behind it. Just insane. What do I think is going on right now? I think they're messing with the weather to increase the power of the next storm, which is coming in. It wasn't supposed to come in until late last week, but now all of a sudden it's going to start on late Saturday, early Sunday, and then go throughout the week. And they're saying maybe even 10 days right through the Bay Area, right on up into the Oroville Dam area. Let me show you what has gone on with the dam. That was the problem they had after the last storm. Is the spillway broke all apart, and if you see all the dirt and debris that got thrown into the river below, that's what caused some of the problem. I mean, obviously there's two problems. One, the spillway is busted, but the second problem was the exit avenue of the power plant there, where the water comes through, fills up this pond, and that pond got filled up, making the level too high for the water to come out, so they had to turn off the power plant, which takes about, I think it's 13,000 or 12,000 cubic feet per second out of the Oroville lake. So that's what they've been cleaning up for the last 10 days that we've had halfway decent weather. And look at that. It has turned into a river again. But look at right above it. They still have this problem. If the lake gets too high, it's going to overflow and come right down in the same spot and rip it all apart again and fill up the river below and stop the power from water coming through the power plant, the whole deal. Here's the current situation with the Oroville. The height of the Oroville water right now, it is at, where is it? It's at 863 feet. This is a 900-foot capacity dam. This was at 840 when the rain stopped. Now, the way they got to 840 was they opened up the spillway, caused all that problem, and they closed off all the feeder dams. So all the feeder dams above Oroville are filled up, and it's the same problem we talked about last week. The problem now is they got to get the level of the dam down again because there's another storm coming, and the weather's been warm, so the snow's been melting. They're talking about opening up the spillway again, which will obviously cause erosion again, cause the same problem and rip away at the mountain even more. So a lot of potential for trouble starting this weekend. And here's the new weather forecast for Oroville. It's pretty much rain every single day starting on Saturday. Now, for you conspiracy buffs, I just did a video on the new $100 bill, and if you fold it up in the back, it kind of looks like maybe potentially a dam overflowing. That's what it looks like. I love reading the conspiracy stuff into the back of the bills, but that's a pretty good one. who knows? The $20 bill, if you fold it up right, it shows the two 9/11 towers coming down. So they do have fun with those bills. And again, for those of you who missed it, that's what California looks like. The Central Valley is a complete bowl. It used to be an inland sea. That's why it's so fertile. That's around 85 to 90% of all our fruits, vegetables, and nuts that are consumed in the United States are grown right there in the California Central Valley. And if we do have large rain events, flooding events, which a lot of people are starting, and if we have the problem with the aqueducts and all the levees that are built around California, in the insanity of building homes in a floodplain just blows your mind, because if you get 10 or 15 or 20 years of dry land, you're like, oh, we can build houses there, we can sell them for $1 million a house. Oh, that'd be a great idea. And now there's 6.5 million people live in that Central Valley, and it's very susceptible to floods, and has been for they have something called the 100-year flood, and every time it just floods the whole valley. If it did that today, and that last time was like in the 1860s, so we're overdue for that. We're talking huge loss of land, of property, of infrastructure, life, you name it, everything. And it's not just the Oroville Dam. All these dams are filled up, and all the levees are at their breaking point. So with another storm coming up for about 10 days, and then there's another one right behind it that will probably hit in April, there's no end to it. There's a sea level map, and as you see, the green is pretty much at or below sea level. That's just, it's so obvious when you stand back and look at it that California, when the waters were higher, the Central Valley was completely underwater, and that's why it became so fertile. Anyway, so am I trying to connect the chemtrails that are being sprayed right now to the expected weather as a false flag thing? Yeah, maybe. There's got to be a reason for them spraying all day today. And I know there is a storm coming in that wasn't expected, so maybe they are trying to steer it and intensify it towards the Oroville Dam. But what that would do, if the Oroville Dam goes down, huge financial destruction. It's like Katrina all over again. And does our government have the money to pay billions of dollars? No. Can they create it out of thin air? Yes. National emergency. Wouldn't that be great for the banksters who are about to go down right now if they caused a national emergency? But there's also something I want to tell you guys about. This is a report, a PDF report that I have on my website in the resources tab on the left side. It's called Geoengineering, Chemtrails, HAARP, World Orders, Timelines, and Ascensions. Covers the gamut. I love this report. Here, take a picture of that, or just go to roadtoruta.com on the left side in the resources tab. And this breaks down why they're spraying, what's in the spray, what's the reason behind it. And it all has to do with what's going on with our sun right now. As you know, the sun has turned white from a yellow. I think it was even orange when I was a kid. Turned bright white. It is expanding. It is growing. As we move into a more dense part of the Milky Way, the sun is running into more resistance with dust. And the more it burns, that's the more fuel it gives the sun and gets bigger and brighter. And there's all kinds of magnetics going on. Read this report, because it really does show you why they're spraying, how it came about, who thought it up. It really came from the understanding that our sun is changing, and how are we going to protect the planet. They had 3 ways that they could protect the planet. It was either 1, use nuclear weapons to blow holes in the upper atmosphere to let heat out. So they said, well, we can't do that. 2 is create huge underground cities to live in until the sun stabilizes. We all know that they've done that. They're doing that. They're all across the country, especially under the Denver airport. Huge underground bases all over the United States. So that was one of the things they were doing. And the third was to get the heck off Earth. And those of you who follow the secret space program and have night vision goggles might say, well, that's maybe what we're trying to do. But if all 3 of them fail, which pretty much this paper concludes, they needed a way to help mitigate the problems with the sun. Spraying aluminum and strontium and all these chemicals and iron that it's in this report helps in certain ways with the magnetics and with the reflecting of heat and light. Really interesting stuff if you're into that. If you're into kind of, it's very scientific, but it's also kind of new age-ish, and I think they do a great job of putting it all together. I don't know who wrote it. A guy named Daniel. I think it's probably a mystic guy who, I don't know, channeling or whatever. But if you read this and you get down to the science, it makes sense what they're doing. I'm not saying it's good. It's horrible for humanity to breathe this stuff, but it's also horrible for humanity to burn up as the sun enlarges. And basically, we're trying to stop Mother Nature. And in the end, Mother Nature is going to win. And I think Mother Nature will take her lead position this summer. At least that's what's on the cover of the Economist magazine for 2017. Anyway, go check it out and keep an eye on what's going on for Central California and Northern California over the next week. And a lot of people have predicted problems with the Oroville Dam and predicted weather problems for all of California in April and May. March, April, May is kind of the hot spot for all that. So we'll keep an eye on it. This is Bix Weir reporting from the greenhouse. Go to roadtorooted.com, sign up for free emails and a free book. Just put your email in the top left corner with your name and you'll get a free PDF. All right, take care.